Everything is coming along very nicely. Good morning everyone, I'm Grant and welcome back to the channel. I thought I was done with the motor mounts, but after posting my last video and some pictures online, I was given a lot of recommendations to add some additional gussets because other people have done these motor mounts the same way I did them, and they did bend slightly because of the weight that was put on them. So I'm going to take their advice and add more gussets. So we're going to be adding a gusset on the top of this one. We're going to be adding at least one very long, strong gusset on here so I can still get to this bolt on this one. And I think I'm also going to add at least one more gusset on each side for these frame mount perches. So with that said, I'm going to get to welding. I'm going to address this frame mount perch first. Now, you can't really see it on video also because I painted it black. There is a triangle underneath coming out to this edge, and where the weight is, which is the center hole, it is supported by the original frame mount perch almost directly to the hole, but I also realize the engine's going to be resting on this outer edge. So I do have this triangle that I cut, and what I think I'm going to do is notch it here so it goes around this other supporting triangle that I had already welded in, and I am going to weld it here so it goes both to the frame and goes far out here. So now this frame mount perch will basically be supported all along here, if you can imagine, so this will not bend. So I'm gonna scrub away some of the paint, or grind away some of the paint I should say, get a couple of magnets, figure out how I need to grind this away so I can get this flush, and I'm gonna get to welding. So I have been welding for probably the past 2.5 to 3 hours, gusseting everything, and I have the motor mount plates that bolt to the BEW TDI all welded up. I'm really happy with the gussets. They're outside drying right now. I went ahead and painted them so they wouldn't be bare metal. And I went ahead and put my hydraulic motor mounts back on the frame mount perches that I had welded onto my frame. And looking at it, I'm realizing I can add one more gusset to each side, which I think would give both of these frame mount perches a lot of rigidity and structure, so I wouldn't have to worry about them bending. So even though I went ahead and painted these a couple hours ago, I'm going to go ahead and add a gusset here and a gusset on the back side of this one, just so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll move on to addressing everything on the BEW, and I'm also hoping to install my custom torque converter in my 6R80 today as well. But I'm going to tackle this first, so back to welding. So hopefully for the moment, I am done welding. It was more welding than I was expecting to do, but at the same time, I'm really happy with all the triangulation and gussets that I now have, both on the frame mount perches and the motor mount plates that bolt to the engine as well. I am going to go ahead and take off both of these adapters because I haven't torqued them down or put any Loctite on them. I need to actually put that one water hose back on that I had welded up a couple of videos ago. I have the new O-ring for it, so I'm going to install that hose. We're going to torque everything down, put Loctite on everything, and then I will focus on filling the torque converter with transmission fluid and installing it on my 6R80. So yeah, back to work. Now that I have everything buttoned up on the BEW, I'm now going to fill my brand new torque converter with transmission fluid. I'll then install the torque converter into the 6R80, and once that's done, then I can lift this engine and try mating it to the 6R80, which I do know it fits, but then I can also install the motor mounts and have the entire drive line being held up by its own weight. This entire time I've been using jack stands and whatnot to hold the drive line in place. So I'm going to get to it. It's in. It's mounted. The drive line is being supported by its own bracketry. I have no jacks underneath of it, no nothing. And all of my clearances look fantastic. I did just briefly try putting on the turbo because that was my biggest concern, was that once everything was under its own weight, it wouldn't clear my steering shaft. It clears wonderfully. So I am thrilled. I have a BEW TDI mated to a 6R80 6-speed automatic, which is mated to my factory MP231. Everything is coming along very nicely. So, yeah. I'm going to take the rest of the day off and recoup, and I will see y'all again very soon. Goodbye.